Welcome to our first day of cultivating contentment. I'm glad that you all joined with me today. I decided I was going to dress up a little bit today. I can't guarantee that I will do that every day, but I thought for our first one, maybe I would. If we're going to talk about how to cultivate contentment in our lives, then we really need to start our discussion with discontentment. So I want to go to this slide, discontent. And so this is where we're going to start. It's always good to start with things that we can recognize and things that we don't like so that we can get rid of them and move into things that we do want or do desire. So that's what we're going to do first. This is our scripture for the week, and it's not a very uplifting scripture, but again, we're talking about discontent. So this is from Job chapter 10, verse 1, and it talks about, I am disgusted with my life. Let me complain freely, and I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. So there really are three kind of thoughts in there. The first one is being disgusted with your life. That's a strong statement. That's more than just being unhappy. That's beyond being unhappy. Disgusted. That something has to change, right? And then let me complain freely. It's so easy for us to fall into a pattern of complaining. I know I go down that rabbit hole all the time of complaining, and luckily my husband's quick to point it out, and I'm not always quick to stop, but I do try. And then the last statement, I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. Whew, that's deep. When we talk about bitterness, that's something you've been hanging on to for a long time that you can't let go of. And it is in your soul. It's your whole being. Like, this bitterness is deep within you. And it just affects every part of your life. You know, it affects your happiness. It affects your stress level. Sometimes it makes you sick. And so this bitterness, speaking from the bitterness of my soul, that's deep, and that's something that we really need to try to get rid of for our own. That'll hopefully take care of that being disgusted with my life. So we've all heard of Goldilocks, right? The Goldilocks of the Three Little Bear fame, and sometimes it's a little hard to relate to her. Sure, she did a little shopping around, a little trial and error, a little exploration of her options. But in the end, she always hit upon something that was just right. And by the third try, too, something just right. Have you found that state of complete contentment yet? Or, like the rest of us, are you still complaining that what you have is too hot or too cold, or too soft or too hard? It's never just right. So are you caught in that trap of looking for the just right? It's not difficult to spot discontentment in our lives. We're weary of the sameness of things, and boy, are we weary right now of the sameness. I don't know about all of you, but here in Michigan, we're at a stay-at-home quarantine or a stay-at-home order from the governor, and we just celebrated Easter dinner, and it was me and Denny and Sam. Sam snuck over. He's staying in our Elginak house, and he snuck over and had dinner with us, which he really wasn't supposed to do, but boy, it's lonely if you're out by yourself. And so we actually did a little FaceTime with the rest of the kids, and we have that 5-month-old granddaughter Lily who we just can't hold or see, and she's learning new things, and we can't be part of that, and it's hard, that sameness. It's difficult. So we like a fresh look. We don't always like looking at the same four walls every day. Even something that was just right a couple of months ago might need some major renovations now. Do you ever do that? You get something and you think it's just right, and then a little while later you're like, oh, man, I don't really like this anymore. I wish I could change it. I've done that. So now here's your time to fess up. Are you a frequent furniture mover? Do you often reorganize your pantry or your desk? How many old purses are stuffed into the back shelf of your closet? Wouldn't you love to trade in your car, your sofa, maybe those bedroom curtains that you don't really like anymore? I'm going to fess up right here. We just moved a few weeks ago, and I moved a great big box of old purses. I don't even carry a purse, so I don't know why I have a whole box of old purses. I've probably moved them 3 times and just shove them back into a closet or downstairs and then, move them again. Why don't I get rid of them? Like, I don't use them, so why do I keep them? So there's my confession for today. Maybe I'm going to get rid of those and donate those somewhere. So someone else should probably be able to benefit from that. For me, if it doesn't fit in my phone case, then it's not worth taking with me. So I don't really need that need that purse. So I just want to share a little story right here about my sister. I had an older sister. She was 14 years older than me, and her name's Anne. And about 3 years ago, Anne was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. It didn't look good. The doctors told us the prognosis. They did not tell her because she didn't want to know. But the prognosis was 12 months to 18 months. And but they were going to fight it aggressively until she wasn't responding anymore, and then they were going to stop. And my sister, when she was growing up, and throughout her life, if there was a lemon out there to be had, my sister found it. If there was a vacuum cleaner that was going to be a lemon, she got it. If there was a car that was going to be a lemon, she got it. Like, all the bad things always seemed to happen to her. And she had a hard life. She was a single mom, raising, a great son. She sacrificed everything for him. But it was a hard life for her. And she had a lot of resentment and a lot of bitterness towards situations in her life. And rightfully so in some cases. But that's just how she was. So about 10 years before she got this diagnosis, she started going to church. And we had a lot of conversations over those next 10 years about faith and about, just the Bible and her Christian journey and things in her life. And just a lot of really good, deep conversations. And then when this diagnosis came, she had a choice. She had a choice of how she could respond. It could have been one more thing in her life where here's another lemon in my life. But you know what? That's not how she approached it. She approached it with this attitude that I had never seen from her. And she's like, okay, this is what I have. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to live every day that I can live, and I'm going to be happy, and whatever happens, happens. And you know what? That's what she did. And she fought it, and she did all the treatments, and she was diagnosed in January, and they started really quickly within 2 days of her diagnosis with treatments and aggressive treatments for her. And her goal was she wanted to see her grandson graduate. She wanted to celebrate my niece's 40th birthday, and she wanted to celebrate our daughter Ruth's wedding. And those things were all happening in June, July, and August. And that was her goal. And she told that to the doctor. And I'll tell you, those doctors worked so hard to make sure that she was good during those times. And she got to do all 3 of those things, and she felt good during those things. And then Thanksgiving rolled around, and she started back just not doing well. and by Christmas she was in pretty rough shape. And the first of the year rolled around, and she ended up passing away in January. But before she did, she called me, and I will never forget this conversation, because she said, I think through all of this I have experienced God's grace. And I stopped for a moment, and I'm like, I don't think that's quite the right thing. And I paused and I said, you know what? What I really think you experienced was God's peace. Like, God's peace was with you through this whole thing. You were so peaceful about everything. And she found that contentment for the first time in her life. And it was just a blessing to watch that happen. And I just learned so much from her through that last year of her life about how to face adversity, how to survive through adversity, and how to die with that contentment and that peace. And it's a lesson that I will never forget. So, be assured that we can change, and let's hope it's not that last year of our life. Let's hope we can do it sooner and really, really enjoy life. So, let's talk about back to contentment. Where else does this urge to find the just right thing crop up? Do you change your mind annually about the wallpaper in your kitchen? Do you change your hair color? How many different colors of paint have been on your bathroom walls? Do you still like the clothes you bought 2 seasons ago? How many times have you rearranged your office? How long is your to-do list, your shopping list, or your wish list? Those are all things that we're not content with. So, I don't know. I'm a creature of habit, so I don't really have these urges for the next best thing, because I just like the thing I have most of the time. So, I eat the same lunch every day. I buy the same pair of shoes, just in maybe a different color. I'm just such a creature of habit that I don't have that longing to go out and try to buy the next best thing. But I do have some discontent, and there are some things that I have a wish list that's probably too long, and that I probably need to take a look at. So let me just pose a couple of questions to you for this week. So the first question is, what kinds of things do you look for to satisfy the restlessness in your heart? So what I would like for you to do is just post your thoughts on the Google Classroom streaming page. And, this is, remember, a no judgment zone. We're going to be kind to each other. We're going to encourage each other. So be honest, and we'll be honest back with you about our responses, and we'll be kind in those responses as well. And then the second question, the Proverbs are filled with common sense and uncommon wisdom. Even fabulously wealthy King Solomon understood the insatiable nature of people. He said, greed has twin daughters, and their names are gimme and gimme more. Consider the lesson recorded in Proverbs 30, 15, and 16. What 4 things does Solomon say are never satisfied? What do you think he means by this statement? And so, post your thoughts about what you don't need to list the 4 things, but what do you think he meant by that, by those 4 things, those never being satisfied? So I look forward to reading your responses. Please, respond to other people. Put your thoughts out there. Give your words of wisdom to somebody else. We're all trying to figure this out as we go along. And I will post some more questions on Tuesday. So stay tuned, get these 2 answered, and give some responses, and then you'll have more on Tuesday, and then again on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And then I'll let you have Saturday and Sunday off, and then we'll start again on Monday. So have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope that this is touching some of you. So thank you for joining me. See you tomorrow.